Today we're going to be talking about math and arrays, and I'm excited because after our lesson I was able to get Professor Matthew to come and visit us at our house today. He's going to be helping to explain the concepts of arrays in mathematics, and so we're looking forward to that. Today we are going to look at lesson 10-3 on arrays. And I only have a limited amount of time given per video, so there are some things we're going to move through quickly for. That being said, what I'm going to do is I am not going to look at the story right now. I'm going to go straight to the explanation as we talk about an array. Our math words for today are array, row, and column. So this is what the paragraph explaining says. An array is an arrangement of objects in rows and columns. Each row has the same number of objects. Each column has the same number of objects. So what's the difference between a row and a column? Well, a row goes across from left to right. And so if I were to look at this array, I would say I have 3 rows. And in each row, I have 5 leaves. So that's how they wrote their equation here. They put 5 plus 5 plus 5. 3 rows of 5 equal 15. You could do it a different way and you'd still get the same answer. You could look at a column. This part says each column has the same number of objects. Columns go down from top to bottom. So columns, if I count, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns. And in each column, I have 3 leaves. So if I added that up, I'd say 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 does equal 15. If I were now to go down to the practice and put this into work, I have here instructions that say complete 2 equations for the array. So this is an array because an array, remember, is an arrangement of objects in rows and columns. And this is an arrangement of objects in rows and in columns. First, I'm going to find the row. It says for the first equation, add the number of pails in each row. So I have 2 rows and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 in the first row, and you can tell by the picture that I have the same amount in the second row because they're evenly matched. 5 plus 5 equals 10. The next part says, for the second equation, add the number of pails in each column. So I'm going to go down. I have 2. Another one, and another, and another. I could tell because they all are matching. And to add it up, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. There you go. And you can see that both of them are the same. Let's turn the page. Let's go to the next practice. The next practice says, write 2 equations for each array. Find how many in all. Once again, I'm always going to start with the rows first, and then I'll do columns. So if I look at my rows, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. And let's see how many I have in each row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 5 in each row. If I count by 5s, 5, 10, 15, 20. I have 20 stars. Now I'll look at the columns. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, I have 5 columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in each column, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 stars. 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. 4 plus 4 is 8. 8 plus 4 is 12. 12 plus 4 is 16. 16 plus 4 is 20. And whichever way I used, no matter what, I still have 20 stars. Let's do the next one, number 3. I'm going to do rows first. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 rows. And in each row, I have 3 triangles. So I'm going to say 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. I could do doubles. This is another 3 plus 3 is 6. And then 6 plus 6 together is 12. That's one way to solve it. That is solving for my rows going across. Now let's do columns. If I look at my columns going down, I have 3 columns going down, and there are 4 triangles in each column. So I'm going to say 4 plus 4 plus 4. And 4 plus 4 is 8. 8 plus 4 is 12. So I have 12 triangles. All right, problem solving. Molly makes an array with 5 rows of shelves. Shells. There are 2 shells in each row. How many shells does Molly have? Now, you know I like to draw pictures, so I'm going to draw 5 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to draw 2 shells in each row. Well, I'm not really going to draw a shell, but how about I just put a circle for each one? 2 shells, 2 shells, 2 shells, 2 shells, and 2 shells. And now let me add them up, counting by 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So I have 10 shells in total. The last question on this page says, write about it. Why is the sum of an array the same, whether you add the numbers in each column or the numbers in each row? Well, the sum is going to be the same because you have the same number of objects in the array, whether you look at it at the column or you look at it in what row it's in. So no matter what, the objects remain the same. The number of objects remain the same. And if you were to write that down, probably what you would want to do is, I always have students who say, can I just write it my own way? And I absolutely do not have a problem with that, all right? So what I'm going to put is I'm going to say the sum of the objects stays the same. The sum of the objects stays the same. What changes is how you group it. Okay. How you group it is how it changes. All right. Anytime it goes too fast, feel free to pause so that you can write down what you need to write down or rewind and go back. But because of our limited time that we're allowed to make a video, I'm going to keep moving on to the 3rd page. The 3rd page, which this is always the page where everyone says, can we do it by ourselves? Well, let's see if you can. I actually will be working alongside with you. So once again, we have the very same explanation on what an array is. An array is an arrangement of objects in rows and columns. Each row has the same number of objects. Each column has the same number of objects. And once again, they give us the same example. If we were to go to the practice then, it's a different kind of question. It says circle the 2 groups of add-ins. Remember, add-ins are numbers that we add together. Circle the 2 groups of add-ins that tell the total number of diamonds in the array. Ooh, okay. So I can either do rows or I could do columns. They actually want to know both of them because it says circle the 2 groups that tell the total number. So let me count. I have rows going across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 5 rows of 3. 5 rows of 3. Does that mean the same as 5 rows of 3? Does that mean 5 rows of 3? Does that mean 5 rows of 3, or does that mean 5 rows of 3? This represents each row. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. I have 5 rows of 3, so that's going to be one of them. Then I like to look at the columns. If I go down, I see I have 3 columns, and in each row I have 5. I'm sorry, I said row, in each column. So I have 3 columns going down, and in each column there are 5. So which one represents 3 columns with 5 in each column? I hope you chose this one. That is correct. If you were to add it up, 5 plus 5 plus 5 is 15. There are 15 diamonds in the array. The last page is your homework assignment for today. You are going to do the same thing that we just did on the 3 pages. You're going to write 2 equations for each array and then find out how many in all. And that's why you have 2 lines, and then right here you tell how many are in all. For here, Jeremiah makes an array with 25 toy trucks. There are 5 columns of trucks. How many trucks does Jeremiah put in each row? I like to do this in a tricky, different kind of way. You can follow my way or you can do it your own way. But I'm going to show you real quick with the limited time I have left. If I am making 5 columns, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a toy truck at the top of each column. I'll just put an X for a truck, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And remember, columns go down. So I have 5 columns. And they said there's 25 toy trucks in all. Well, now I'm just going to fill up each column one at a time to make sure that they're even. So here's my first column. I already had 1 here, and there's another one, another one, another one, another one. So I've just used up 5 trucks. All right, now let's keep going. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. I've used up all 25 toy trucks. I do have 5 columns. Now I can find out how many trucks are in each row. So now I'm going to look at it a little bit different, and I'm going to look at it going across for the rows. And in each row there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Jeremiah puts 5 trucks in each row. So there we have it. Write about it, the last part here. When you make an array and then write an equation to find the total, why are the add-ins all the same number? So here's my example. Here's an array. And when I write an equation to find the total, I'm saying, well, I like to do rows. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 rows. And in each row, there are 5 objects. An array always has to have the same number of objects in each row, and each column has to have the same number of objects. So if that's the case, then that is the rule with an array. With an array, you have to have the same number of objects. An array must have the same number of objects in each row. This is also the same rule for each column.